Memorial Tournament is upon us. Greatest golfers in the world once again coming to Dublin, Ohio, Jack's Place. And we're here to break it down for you, joined by Adam King, 10 TV, our Skip Mosic, and Timmy Hall, 97.1 The Fan. Guys, we'll start with you, Timmy, because you are like the voice of reason.
A man of the people.
You have your pulse on everything.
Thank you.
The live players.
I don't know how to check my own, but...
The live players will not be allowed to play in the Memorial Tournament. For instance, John Rahm, who's a former champ, will not be here because of live. Is this thing ever going to get figured out, or is this the way it's going to be?
Ever's a long time, so yeah. Like if we look down the line, I mean, take a look at what's going on in college sports. Right. I mean, if we had a conversation 15 years ago and talked about what this is about to look like, and we were about to see lawsuits settled, which are going to cost billions. So you talk ever. Things will happen, but for right now, I really don't want to see this get resolved from the tour's side. I would rather see live cave because it's not a good product.
Why would they cave?
They're not going to cave.
It's working. They get to play in the important games.
Well, how do you know? The important games.
Yeah, the games. That's very educated there.
How do we know? I was thinking about this when we were watching the PGA Championship. As time goes on, outside of some of the guys that have won those golf tournaments, and really like the 4 or 5 big names, what are the majors ever going to hit a point where they just?
I think they'll always have exemptions for the big names because they're trying to sell tickets and TV.
They likely will, but I'm saying there might hit a point of exhaustion with these once big time golfers that were playing in front of big time crowds that say, what are we doing here?
I think DeChambeau might have just put a little sour on your point after this PGA Championship. People were behind him in a way. They weren't even behind him on the PGA Tour. So the idea that, I think the longer this goes on, the more normal it becomes. And I think that's a bigger problem for the PGA is that people are going to say, okay, well, I see him at the majors and I don't see him the rest of the time.
You can argue real quickly that DeChambeau is the most popular professional golfer in the world right now. More so than Scheffler or anybody else.
Just Victor Hovland.
Based on what we saw at the PGA Championship, people were behind him.
100%.
Skip, we thought about a year ago this deal was going to get resolved. And now you're seeing guys that were part of the deal. They're disappearing. They're getting out. It looks like that ship has sailed. Who gets the blame for this?
The Players Advisory Board, in my opinion. It's just they can't get on the same page with anything. And it's going to take somebody like what they're doing now is getting Tiger Woods involved, and he's going to be the person, the front guy, to say, look, we have got to get a deal done with PIF. Otherwise, we're just going to be spinning our wheels. And the PGA Tour, as we know it, probably can't continue to exist under this current makeup because they're going to run out of money. The only way to get money to compete, to continue doing what they're doing, is to get the deal done with PIF. That way you've got the financial backing to put your master plan together.
Adam, with that said, do you blame any of the players, and I know where Timmy's going to be on this, but do you blame any of these guys that went to live because, a $200 million payday, some of the deals these guys were getting, I think, I read, I don't know if it's true, but like Tiger, they offered him a billion or whatever. I mean, we're talking about deep pockets. Do you blame these guys for taking the money?
I blame the original guys still. I still think that was a place in golf that we took a really bad turn. I will say, with every week and every tournament that passes, I understand why some of these guys are getting so upset. They've been promised a solution to this by the PGA for multiple years now, and they're looking at their buddies on the range at the Masters and at the PGA, and these guys are flying private jets to the tee box and saying, why am I continuing to take a massive pay cut knowing that you guys still get to do all the exciting things that
or have to earn your money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest thing.
I do blame them because it's greed, and greed takes over the world. And we're not talking about guys that were poor, heading to the poorhouse. These were millionaires that wanted to start stacking tens of millions on top of their $1 million piles. And I wish they would have just used the threat of this, if that makes sense. Go 80, 90% of the way, and then stop, and then get the PGA Tour to, like they have done, right? Because they've had to, they've been forced. But let me tell you this, you talk about all that, and who's watching it though? Are you going to ever be interested in watching it? Does something come along and knock the MLB, the NFL?
But here's
The
the problem.
NBA offer,
Here's
we're just
the-
going to
here's
start
the pro-
watching
here's
something
the-
new? No,
here's
no one's
the-
ever going to do that.
I hear what you're saying, and,
good
and,
point.
and here's the problem. They're never running out of money. They got more money than we will ever dream. They
Doesn't
got more
make it
money
good.
than- I'm not. It is bad. It's terrible. But they don't care because they are not going to blink first. I mean, I don't. Do you think they're going to blink?
They're not going to blink at all, Dom. And the biggest, I'll use Dustin Johnson as an example. I don't want to necessarily pick on anybody specifically. But
we're picking on Dustin Johnson.
Does he have the eye of the tiger right now? Does he have the same look at the most recent
No.
major champion?
No.
He doesn't care.
No.
He's getting
He's
paid.
getting paid.
No, I don't care.
Now, I will say this. When you go back and look at all of this, first of all, Timmy, I'd like to know where that Peter Millar, was that sponsored by Live Money? Was that, we'd like to know.
Hard-earned cash.
Uh-huh. But when you look at
Fan
all-
dollars.
Yeah, hard-earned fan dollars,
When
baby.
you look at the PGA, I think you make a very valid point. I would rather watch the John Deere Open on a Sunday afternoon.
It's the classic.
The John Deere Classic. I apologize. That's twice. I called it a game, and I'd rather watch the John Deere Classic. Like I'm watching golf every week, and they could tell me it's the biggest live event of all time, and I'm not turning off the John Deere Classic.
It doesn't
So,
matter.
It's not hooking
you'll
me
have
in.
You'll have to do this for 100 years.
Here's the solution, and I've got it right here, and this is the solution.
All right, here we go,
Put
Jay.
you on a plane with Tiger. Let's go.
Jay Monahan.
It's going
Look.
but it's going to take guts to do it.
Okay.
You need to tell anyone that the Europeans, the PGA, all the majors need to come to an agreement that if you're on live, you can't play in the majors. You just don't let them. Because then all of a sudden, because these guys are driven by one thing, the majors. That's the one thing that gets their attention. Tiger was chasing Jack. They want to be known. You know, the money's great, but they want to win majors. And if you say, hey, if you're on live, guess what? You're not playing in the British Open. You're not playing in the U.S. Open. You're not playing in the Masters. And you're not going to play in the PGA. If you do that, guess what? I guarantee you some solutions will get made.
But the only way to make that happen is you have to get all of those entities that put on those events
Absolutely.
get under the same umbrella as the PGA
Sure.
Tour. And I don't think that's
That's the only way to fix it.
The RNA isn't going to do it. Augusta National is always going to do whatever they want. The
Yeah.
PGA of America is going to do what they want.
Which is wild that the PGA of America, has said, yeah, all right, you
all
guys
right.
can play in our major. That's fine.
Like, do we need Taylor Gooch in our lives? No. No, I don't think
Timmy,
we do.
I think this
John
segment,
Rahm and
we're
Cam
talking-
Smith and
we're
you know,
talking
some
about
other
live.
guys,
Can we agree
maybe,
if they
but-
did that?
Yes.
If
Oh, it'd
they
be done.
did that,
Oh, it'd be gone.
this thing would be settled, wouldn't
It would be
They would-
settled.
we would get rid of, what did you call them?
The Live Boys.
There you go.
I mean, because there's, I mean, as much money, I mean, people want to win majors.
They do.
I mean, that's why all the live guys, they want to play in the majors, and they won that battle. And, you know, not being allowed to play in the John Deere, not being allowed to play. I mean, and the thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, Skip, if we look back at the history of golf, guys that would play, for instance, on the European Tour, they would still come and cherry pick and play here. But it's this
You lay off
war.
with Colin Montgomery.
It's the war they've got with live. So if and it looks like it's just the PGA against the world right now, right?
Absolute PGA Tour against the world, and that's kind of what's going on with this whole thing. And where's it going to end? We don't know. I think golf fans in general are growing tired of this, though. I know I am. I love the game more than anybody, and I'm growing tired of no movement on any front in regards to this.
So Skip, are you still watching? Like Rory and Xander had that battle. I know you do the lovely show, Skip Mosic, every Saturday morning. It's
on
the
97.1.
Fan. Yeah, and he's the only guy that has a golf bag that's got like a show logo stitched into the back pocket. It's pretty
He
sweet.
paid a lot of money for that.
You know
Not this amount of
he's coming when you see him on the course. But what I was asking is, how much, if it weren't for that show, would you just sink into the couch like Adam talked about on a Saturday or a Sunday? If it's not one of the four majors or the Memorial, leave that one out because we love that event.
It's always on. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always checking it out as far as what's going on, but it's more exciting when there's an actual competition. It's always more exciting when you have a bigger name. But I don't want to see somebody win by 10
Yeah.
because then
So
that's
you're not
just
watching
like,
the back nine on Sunday.
I'll
That's
go finish,
exactly
I'll
right.
go finish cooking Sunday dinner.
I
You know
will,
that, Dom?
I will say though, in no numbers to get behind this, and just quickly though, just what I feel. Since a lot of these guys defected, I feel that some of the cream of the crop at the PGA Tour level has risen. Like you see Rory's not winning majors, but man, is Rory winning a lot of golf tournaments and in the top 3. Right. Scotty Scheffler's winning a golf tournament every single week
When
he
does
plays.
he
That's
jump
so
ship,
exciting.
When
does he jump?
He won't.
He won't.
I will say this.
Never say
I think
never.
the guys that you see now, and Timmy, you don't have to make great points, but that was a great point.
Come on, I made like 4 of them on this thing.
Every week now, when you're looking at that leaderboard, you're thinking, wow, that is a great leaderboard as we head to the back 9 on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of names that you don't know anymore, which I think is, and you're going to see that at Muirfield with the top 70 golfers in the world. You're going to see the best in the world at the top of the leaderboard again.
I will just say, last thing, never say never. And the longer this thing goes, and the longer that they're throwing crazy money out there, nothing. I never thought John Rahm would go.
That's the name I was going to bring up, Dom.
Scotty is a hardened criminal now, so he probably is going to take all that.
Okay,
Saudi
here
money.
you go. We went there. Keep it on Fan TV, 97.1 The Fan for all your Memorial Tournament coverage needs. We are simply, especially this man, the best. Before we get to anything, we were all at Media Day. We had the opportunity to play in it, and I have to say, playing that golf course, you now understand just how good those guys are that are coming, because it's a hard golf course, Skip.
Rough is like this, Dom, like your backyard right now. It's been so wet. And what's always amazing to me is the strength of these guys that are able. It won't be this tall come tournament week.
Right.
But the strength of those guys to get that ball out of there. When they
How
do
did
win
you
the rough.
play?
I
What'd
played, played horrible.
Did you have any pars?
I think I shot 72, but I played 12 holes. So
I had 4 pars.
We're getting the
Just to
golf
be clear,
I had
jokes in
4
early
pars.
here.
Dom did this
Okay,
entire
okay.
portion of the segment just so he could say he had 4
How
parts.
many
I had
holes
4
did you
pars.
play?
Yeah.
We played 14, but I had 4 pars.
I-
Just to be clear,
pretty
before
good.
we went out, I talked to Chad Marks, and I said, hey, I really apologize for what I'm about to do and all the divots out there. And he said, don't worry, I don't care about divots in the rough. And boy, was he accurate. Wow. Spent a lot of time out there.
I will say, Adam, I was hanging back there on the putting green while your group went off, and I did look over to a couple of guys, Anthony and Scotty were there, and I said, I bet you $50 he hooks it right into the creek. And Anthony's still like, man, boy, that's awfully mean. I was like, I'm just speaking facts, that's all. And right after I said that, woo, right there, 70 yards or so into the
breakfast
creek.
ball is a beautiful thing.
You don't get a breakfast ball
The
at
breakfast ball.
Muirfield
He did get it
Village?
right. He did.
Breakfast
The
ball is
caddy-
ridiculous.
The caddy said breakfast ball.
Breakfast
so
ball
we
is a
got-
beautiful thing.
It's
You
good
should
to be
all
the
try
king.
it.
Did you tip your caddy?
I did. I tipped my caddy.
I hope so. My goodness, that guy got a workout. Anyways, so we know this golf course is tough. Skip, Jack runs this tournament like a major. He's made numerous changes over the years. He wants it to play tough. The winning score last year was 7 under par. Is that too hard?
it's difficult. The interesting thing about the score this year is the placement on the schedule. It's the week before the U.S. Open. Do golf fans want to see U.S. Open type scoring back-to-back weeks? I think the fans want to see birdies. Obviously, there was discussion about the 16th hole, the changes that he made there. 16 was too hard last year. It was ridiculous. And when we got a chance to virtually talk to Victor Hovland a couple of weeks ago, we said how guys were purposely aiming for the front right bunker
and laying
just to
up.
try to get up and down to make par because a good shot into that green wasn't rewarded.
Adam, we go to that, the 16th hole. And let me just say, I'll give my take in a minute, but the 16th hole, the players complained, said it was too tough. The best players in the world complaining that a hole is too tough. And the Golden Bear, who these guys, personally, they would not be making the money they're making now if it wasn't for guys like Arnie and Jack and even Tiger. He changed it. What's your take on that now?
Well, you think that hole is incredibly tough, Adam.
Well, sure, he's an
We've never
amateur.
even triple bogeyed it.
Listen, I have never been more upset than when I sat down with Dan Sullivan 2 months ago and he said, hey, we completely moved it, made it more of a direct target. Because I want these guys to challenge themselves. I want the
There's
idea.
a difference, though. There's a difference in a hole being playable and then players being able to go out and just eviscerate the golf course where they can land it on the green
Well,
and
that's
the
what
ball
the
will
players
instantly
want.
stop.
That's
Timmy,
what they
I
want.
16 has really just
I
been
want
too
a
tough.
par 3 that they have to walk up and say, you know what? Not in this corny way we say it. A par is genuinely a win on this hole. If on Sunday, if Somebody walks up and they have a one-shot lead. I don't want it to be, okay, if I stick it in there, maybe I've got a birdie putt. I want it to be, I've got 3 shots to get up and down here, and if I do that, I'm getting one back on the team.
I'm just saying there's a difference when you have professional players saying, like you guys mentioned, they're aiming for a bunker instead of a fixed point on the green, even short on the green.
So they can have an uphill
putt. It's the game.
Why are they changing it then? Why do they make adjustments?
Because they were upset.
They get upset. They want to see good shots rewarded.
Look, sometimes I complain to my wife at home. Sometimes the things are sometimes the things are ridiculous, and sometimes they actually make sense, right? And in some points, if they make sense,
Timmy,
you can make a little adjustment.
Timmy, here's my question for you, Timmy.
You wouldn't know.
Timmy, we're not talking about the Timmy Hall skill level at Muirfield Village.
Please.
We're talking about the greatest golfers in the world. Why should this not be a challenge for these guys? Aren't these the best golfers in the world?
It's, again, like we're talking about a minor adjustment to a par 3. It's still a really challenging golf course. I actually thought that the PGA Championship was a lot of fun because I think in a golf season we're going to get a mixed bag, right? And courses can get easier depending on the conditions that week. They can get more difficult if they decide to lengthen it and add in trees or whatnot. I think he's just trying to find a sweet spot where there can be some scoring when good shots are hit, but also can remain really challenging to the best players.
I was going to say that the way it's set up determines what the score is going to be as well. You remember back to the COVID year where they had back-to-back events. Week 1 was 20-plus under par won it. The following week was single digits. So there you go.
So I do think going back to that 7 under par, we have to remember that last year, Muirfield was like a desert by the end of that thing. I mean, it was rock hard. And so that is not normally how it plays. The PGA Championship played that way because they had so much rain. We all know that. I just love the idea that you go out there and you challenge the best in the world to make par. And if they get a birdie, that's because they're the greatest.
I think I know what Skip's answer is going to be to this, but I want to hear what the young gun has to say. Jack says he wants the players to think their way around the golf course, to have to think every shot that they take, not just go out there and launch it and bomb it. Should shot making still be a part of the game, Skip?
Absolutely. It's a big part of the game, and that's what makes Muirfield Village the great golf course that it is, one of the top in the country. And it's what kind of golf course is it, Dom? It's a second shot golf course.
Yes.
Guys have to shape it left, right, around trees to exact locations on the green so they get the best opportunity for birdie. But absolutely, guys, just can't get out there and bomb it. That's why the rough needs to be paneled.
What do you say, Tim?
I mean, I completely agree with Skip. I mean, that's the one element.
Come on.
That's the one. Well, honestly, we watched Bryson DeChambeau this last week. I mean, he's been gone doing his he's a live boy now, but he's been doing his thing.
Fighting words.
Yeah, they are fighting words. We're talking about the Memorial. Those guys can stay home or wherever they are. But you see how far he hits the ball. Right. And so you've got to have some other element of attack if you're a course designer or if you're just somebody that's setting up the golf course or if you're someone like Jack that's getting a tournament ready. And I think there's several spots that I can think of at Muirfield Village where if guys are struggling a little bit, it can become challenging. The way you play 5, the par 5 with the double-sided fairway is a spot, how you hit your second shot in, what the angle of attack is, if you want to leave it off to the right in that ball catch area, the fringe. And you take 14, another one, for example, where you could try to bomb that
run
thing
it down there.
right over, run it down, and have a flip wedge in. Or do you want to play it safe and be in a good position off the tee and hit a little bit longer? I would like to see a longer par 3, like something in that 270 range.
Well, you did have
that
at
is a challenge.
You just complained about it.
Oh, complained about. Here's the bottom line. This is not the first time, Skip, that we have seen this movie where the players complained.
Right.
Jack had the furrow rakes where there was basically Grand Canyon in the bunkers, and the players complained about that. My question for all of you, are the players of today as tough as the players of yesteryear? The guys like Arnie, the guys like Jack, and I'm even going to throw Tiger in there.
Oh, don't
I never heard those guys complain.
Ooh.
They just went out and won.
You know the answer to that question, Dom. Of course they're not. Everybody's softer today than they were even 25 years ago. Sorry, guys.
What do you say, Tim?
The
What do
younger
you say? The
generation.
two young guns. What do you guys say?
I don't know.
I
Did
will
they
say
never
this.
complain about anything back then?
I'll say this.
Well, let's go. I don't remember Tiger complaining. Tiger just went out and won.
You look at guys like Tiger, Kobe, those kind of players, they just went out there and whatever the conditions were, they handled them and played them. One, because everybody's playing the same golf course. Everybody's got the same rules in golf. You can play the same golf ball. You can work as hard as you want in the weight room to hit it further. So at this point, I don't like the complaining side. Now, I can complain.
Timmy, here's what I will say about guys like Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods. While the rest of the field were complaining and their mind was off what the mission of hand was, those guys used that as advantage because they're all playing the same course. They all got the same tough shot. And while they were all pouting and whatever, they were just out winning.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I do enjoy the U.S. Open, right? I think, as I said earlier, you think about the golf schedule and some of these courses, guys are going to be able to go extremely low, and there's a place in the game for that to just watch, birdie barrages left and right. And then there's going to be more difficult tracks, and there's some that are regular stops on the PGA Tour schedule too. And the Memorial's kind of ebbed and flowed. Like we've had, what's the record low? I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's just closer to 20, right?
20.
Is it? Yeah. So there you go. We're up around 20 under par. 7 under, I don't think. Also is a number where it's like extreme level of difficulty. We've had U.S. Opens where over par is the champion.
Yeah. Well,
and
it's
that's
the
what you're
lowest-
talking about, Dom, not complaining, but just going and getting the job done over the toughest
the way I
test
see
in
it.
golf.
7 under is the lowest it's been in, I think, nearly 40 years. And they heard about it. They were not happy at the 7 under.
One last thing as far as changes to the golf course, and this was unintentional, is they lost the tree right by the bunker there on 18 at the corner. Asked a number of times if that's going to affect play for the pros. They said absolutely not. You and I are the only ones that hit that tree, but visually it's going to look different there on 18.
Absolutely. All right, guys, great stuff. Keep it on 10 TV. 97.1 The Fan for all your Memorial Tournament coverage. We are simply the best in the game. Well, the Memorial Tournament is upon us. The greatest golfers in the world are once again coming to Dublin, Ohio, and Jack Nicklaus's beautiful Muirfield Village. The purse, $4 million to the winner. How hungry are these guys going to be to not only win that money, Skip, but to get that famous handshake coming off the 18th from the Golden Bear?
1976, year one of this event. How much was the winner's check for Roger Maltby?
Couple hundred?
It was $40,000. So there you go. That's how much it's changed and grown over the years. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Can't even pay for the net jet to get home.
What was the question, Tom? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Scotty Scheffler, I'm going to let you handle this, Timmy, because you never miss an opportunity. Scotty Scheffler, #1 in the world. I think he will have to be one of the favorites here at Muirfield Village. With that said, it was horrible what happened down in Louisville. A person was killed. He apparently did not know about it. He claims it was a big misunderstanding. He got arrested and everything. It's been interesting to see. And once again, our hearts go out to the family that lost that man. And, to Scotty's defense, once again, I don't believe he knew what was going on. With that said, that stuff can weigh on you as you think about it. Is there going to be any lingering effects?
I really don't think so because, Skip, this guy goes out and that very day he was doing calisthenics in a jail cell. Like, this is Scotty Scheffler we're talking about who's saying this. And he's doing his, routine in a jail cell. He was arriving to the golf course at 6 a.m. when his tee time was close to 9.
Right.
So that shows you how much prep time he gives himself. But he got to the course and had about an hour to get ready and get to the first tee, and he goes and shoots 5 under par. Yeah. He had some lag time where on Saturday was where he didn't look like his normal Scotty self. If he did fire 4 or 5 under that day, he would have been right in contention. But it seemed like that baby was due for 6 months.
Right.
And, he kept playing and winning golf tournaments. And, there have been several memes about Scotty before the great meme day came when he did spend a day in jail. But, you'd see all these memes about how, golf's about the 9th most important thing in my life right now. Like, there's my faith, my family, my unborn child, my wife, my my mom, my dad. It just goes on, and golf's, it's really important to him, is the joke about it. Obviously it is, but I think Scotty is just this Jedi golfer.
So
that
you think
can
he'll be fine? You
compartmentalize.
think he'll bounce back?
I think the interesting thing about Scotty is that nobody talked about it on Sunday, but I think he shot 13 under.
Right.
I think for the tournament. So
Yeah, top 7 or
yeah,
something?
I mean, in theory, he had a bad tournament, and he finished top 10 at a major, which is just remarkable to say that on the run that he's on. I think he'll obviously be the favorite coming into Jackson.
We're going to make our picks, but I want to give props to Adam. A year ago, you picked Victor Hovland to win. What was it about him that you liked? And was it just you threw a dart in his name, or how did you pick that?
No, I mean, I've said this in a couple of the other roundtables. I love to watch golf on Sundays, or Saturdays and Sundays. And I think you see a lot of the younger guys up and coming when you watch more tournaments like, the John Deere Classic as opposed to the majors. And I just watched Victor every week. His name was getting closer and closer up there on the leaderboard. And I mean, when I said he was going to win the Memorial, it's because I thought he was very good, and because I thought he was very good at playing his way around a golf course. He's very methodical with the shots that he takes, and it's what he did, and he won the whole thing.
All right, moment of truth, and we're going to keep it with you. Are you picking Victor to repeat, or who's your pick?
You know what's funny is I was not going to pick Victor to repeat, and then he went out there and did that at the PGA Championship, and I'm like, man, that's tough. But I'm not. I'm going to pick Sahith Theegala, another guy.
Oh!
Yeah, another guy that is very much up there every week. He had a great showing.
Favorite.
Yeah, he had a great showing at the PGA. Thought he might break through there. I think that we'll see him have a really good showing at Jack's course. He's a guy that doesn't have to go low to win, and I think that's how you win at the Memorial.
All right, Skip Mosic, who do you have?
Best iron player in the world is who? It's Scotty Scheffler. This is second shot golf course. Assuming he's here, that's who you have to look at number one. But you have other guys. Horses for courses. Patrick Cantlay's played as well here as anybody the last 5 years with a couple of wins. You can't look away with him. My model, much like what Adam did, I always go back to last year and see who was close, and who did Hovland hold off last year? Denny McCarthy. There you go. There's your name.
All right.
You're taking McCarthy?
That's my long shot.
Well, who's your winner? You got to pick one.
Scotty. He's pretty good, right?
Well, you got 8 of them. I wanted to make sure.
You too.
Well, listen, I give him credit. You got to really cover your bases. So next year,
Pick all 80.
I know you like to put yourself down for a 4 on every hole, but sometimes it's a 6 or a 7.
Well, that's because I played with poop and everything was good. Go ahead.
So I like the Denny McCarthy pick, by the way. UVA guy in a fantastic
And
putter.
can putt it, yes.
A fantastic putter. The par putts he was rolling in. So I'll kind of take the easy way and say Tiger Woods. No, I'm kidding.
that'd be beautiful.
I'll take Rory McIlroy because he's just been so good. And if I could wake up one day and drive the ball, or if I could have one golfer's superpower, it would be to drive the ball like Rory McIlroy. I'll spare Denny's putting.
You're almost there, Timmy.
I don't think so. I mean, God, the way the guy can fly at 335, 340 yards, and in that battle with Xander, the way he drove it was a display. And he's not even necessarily a deep track, but a Wyndham Clark would be somebody I'd be on the lookout for.
Your long shot is the U.S. Open champion.
That's why I said he's not that much of a deep track player. He's Wyndham Clark.
Who you got, Dom?
I'm going to give some love to the local guy. Jason Day is overdue, and he knows this golf course better than anyone.
He's playing well
And it's
lately.
going to be a smaller field, and I think that he has a shot. I like him. But my chalk would be Scotty Scheffler. You'd be crazy not to pick him. He's already, he's going to be the favorite to win. And if you've watched him this year, there's a reason why. But I think Jason Day, I'm going to go with him.
Can you do something about his recent wardrobe choices?
Yeah, what is going on with that?
Thanks for saying.
That should have been
Snappy dresser.
a whole
not wearing
segment of
this.
its own. Goodness gracious.
Do you like it?
You
Do
remember
I like the attire?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm into.
It looks good on you.
It looks good on you, though.
You get a free bowl of soup?
I mean, I thought the pants he was wearing that one day were rain pants.
Everybody did.
I went to Twitter with it, and I was sure about it.
He
and then
might
it's like,
be
no,
watching
they're not.
this, and Timmy said it.
Jason, I'd wear that for the
Timmy
money.
said it right here.
I mean,
he does live here.
Yes.
Jason's a fantastic guy.
Okay,
Timmy,
you seen-
what
have
do
you
you
seen-
what do you
You
call
want to
those
make fun
guys?
of his pants again?
I'm saying he gets paid to wear that stuff. I'd probably take a look at that endorsement deal as well.
Yeah, because you've got better ones.
Fantastic.
I hope he is watching. Can I speak to Timmy Hall, Jason Day?
How much would I have to pay you to show up for the entire week of the Memorial in that outfit?
Not that much.
Of course not.
What's that? What's that brand called? Like Malbon or something? Yeah.
I don't think it's cheap.
Well, keep it on 10 TV and 97.1 The Fan, folks, for all your Memorial Tournament coverage and dress for success from Timmy Hall. Jason Day, he can help you get dressed. Anyways,
You're
we'll
fine.
see you later.